Science Part 2, Chapter number 10, Information Communication Technology, the new direction of progress. Today we will be learning what are the importance and role of ICT in science and technology. Friends, we are using information communication technology in science and technology, right? So mainly in which all fields we can use it? Other than science and technology, we are using in many other fields. Can you name some of the fields where we can use this in ICT? Okay, Rafat, in history you can use medicines, medical science. Very good, Shivam. What else? Okay, engineering. Fine, Sakshi. Good answer. Okay, so almost in every subject. Very good, Soumya. In geography also you can use to keep the records and all. Okay, doctors are using. Very good. Accountants are using it. Very good. Aditi, right answer. So everywhere it is used, but we are learning science and technology. So main thing is that in science, we can use it for collection of scientific data. Okay. Like we are having some ICT tools like digital video, recordings, computer control instruments are there, which we can use to record and store the measurements electronically, which is quicker and more accurate. Yes. For measurement, we can use it, right? In science, we can collect many information, scientific information using this computer technology. Next, we can analyze the data. How we can analyze the data? We can use the spreadsheet and graphing tools. Yes or no? There are tools in the Microsoft Excel. That is, spreadsheets are there, graphing tools are there. Okay, for data analysis and also graphical presentation of the result can be done. There are graphs in science, right? So you can do that graphical presentation using what? ICT. So that is a importance of ICT in science and technology. Now we are having lots of experiments in science, right? Demonstrations are there. So demonstrations of experiments, okay, and all the scientific concepts. If you want to improve it and develop it, okay, if you want to improve the understanding and develop the thinking skills, we can go to ICT. It is also possible to demonstrate all the experiments, okay, and environments that would not be otherwise possible. So you can see lot of things using ICT. Example, the model of an atom, okay, or functioning of a nervous system. If you want to watch it, you can go to the you can use computer technology and watch it. Yes, how your body functions, how your nervous system functions, how your digestive system functions, okay, how your respiratory system, how your lungs are working. Okay, all these things you can watch in the form of a video. Yes or no? Using information communication technology, that is ICT. Even if you want to watch the model of an atom, molecule, electrons, everything you can find out in that. Next is you can predict also. Okay. Now, like compiled and processed data can be used to predict possible outcomes, such as weather forecasting in meteorology. You studied the meteorology. Remember, students, in chapter number 9, we studied regarding meteorology. Can anybody tell me what you studied in meteorology? What it is related to? Give the answers in the chat box, students. Yes, very good. Vedant has given the right answer. Weather and climate predictions are done using meteorology. Yes or no? Yes. So that prediction, okay, that prediction you can do using computers. Yes. So you will get processed data. If you want any information regarding weather forecasting, you can search in the net. Yes or no? Again, collecting any other scientific information from some expert, if you want to get that information. Okay, you can use internet, you can use emails there in computer, you can use blogs, forums, chat rooms are there, Wikipedia is there. Okay, you can contact doctors. Very good, Soumya. Okay, you can do video conferencing. Many things are there, many scientific information you will get using ICT. Okay, so ICT is very important for studying science, right? So here you have already seen the devices in information communication technology, ICT. Yes, we can also do interactive education, which we are doing now. Interactive simulations reinforce learning by allowing the students to explore a wide variety of physical phenomena and see the effect of changing a value, right? So many simulations and animations can be found on the internet to illustrate key principles and facilitate interactive learning. So we can learn. Yes, I am sitting here and I'm explaining you. Okay, you all are sitting in house. Still you are learning from your house. How is it possible? Yes, you are not going to school. You are sitting at home. Still you are getting all the information, all the knowledge. Okay, your teacher is talking. You are able to listen it. You can also watch her. Yes, online learning is going on. So all these are what miracles of computer technology. Yes or no? Yes. So that is the best example which we are already using it. Okay. So yes, Rafat, Purva and all. Okay. You all are interacting in between. Okay. That is good. Okay. Now next is modeling and simulation to improve performance of cars, aircrafts, architectural structures. Okay, all this trigger to technological improvements in the industries, in big industries, factories and all. Okay, the, to improve the performance of car, they're using the ICT. For improving the performance of aircrafts, okay, we can depend on ICT. So like that way, in different fields of science, that is engineering, medicine, okay, microbiology, physics, chemistry, everywhere in the field of science, we can use ICT. I hope the concept is much more clear to you, students. What is the importance of, what is the role and importance of ICT in science and technology? Or you can also say, what are the uses of information communication technology in science? Okay, now everyone will give their points in the chat box. Okay, whatever you understood, whatever you remembered, I just now explained you something regarding to it. You have to answer me in the chat box. I will give you time. Okay, you have to write the answer in the chat box. What are the uses of information communication technology in science? Okay, very good. I got the answers from some of you. Okay, that is for collection of scientific data, for analysis of scientific data. Yes. Then for demonstration, we are using for prediction of weather and climate, for demonstration of experiments in science, for collecting scientific information, and for interactive education. For that also, we are using ICT. Okay. So when I'm asking this question, some students, okay, those are given the answer other than that, like in geography, in mathematics, in for example, in some other subjects we are using. Okay, that no need to write in this. The question is very much clear to you that what are the uses of ICT in science, I have asked. Okay, not in other subjects. So your answer should be to the point. Okay, what you're going to write? We use ICT for collection of scientific data, for the analysis of scientific data. Yes, for the demonstration of experiments in science, we are using ICT. Yes, for example, for so, seeing the functioning of nervous system or respiratory system. Okay, to see the model of an atom, we are using it. Okay, model of of electron, protons, neutrons. For that we can use it. For prediction of weather and climate, we are using it. Okay, all this should be your answers. Okay, for collecting more and more scientific information. Okay, for that we are using. For interactive education, we are using online learning. Okay, so all these are what use of ICT in science and technology. So many of them have answered right. Okay, some of them have also given some answers which has to be corrected. So I hope the things are clear to you, students. What is the importance of science, ICT in science and technology? Okay, now let us see which devices will you use to share your knowledge with others. If you are using ICT, right? There are some certain devices, right, which we are using it to share the information with others. Okay, like for example, computer and networking hardware for writing books, blogs, etc. Participating in forums and chat rooms. Yes, and preparing presentations. For that also, like that way we can share our knowledge. Yes, we can use telephone, both landline and mobile, for answering oral queries and social media discussions, etc. We can use television by participating in discussions and debates and all. Yes, so these are some of the devices which we can use to share the knowledge with others. Okay. Yes, very good, Purva. We can share the link, websites, etc. also. Yes. Now, which application software in the computer system did you find useful while studying science? We are using softwares while studying science. Like we are using word processor, Microsoft Word. Yes. For documenting project work. You're doing project work, right? So when you're doing activities of project work, which what you can say, which application is most useful? Yes, Microsoft Word is useful. Very good, Soumya. Even PowerPoint presentation is useful. What else? Even Excel is also useful. Very good. So we are using each and everything in science, right? We can use word processor for documentation of project work. You can use spreadsheet, Microsoft Excel for what? For tabulating and analyzing the experimental data. Yes, we can use PowerPoint presentation for creating attractive presentations. Yes or no? So attractive PowerPoint presentations can be done. We can use web browser like Internet Explorer. You can use Chrome for searching and accessing websites on the internet. Yes or no? For information and for sending emails. You're sending emails also, right? So if any queries are there, you are sending the mails. Yes or no? So for all these things, these are some of the application software for studying science. Okay. So these application softwares can be used. Okay. Once again, I'll repeat what all things we are using. We are using Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, web browsers like Internet, Chrome, etc. And we are all, using all these things And these all things are useful application software for studying the subject science. Okay. Now there need to be taken some precautions. Yes, while we are using the software on the computer, we should follow some precautions. Okay, like we should install and use only legal or licensed softwares. Okay, illegal copying and distributing licensed softwares, as well as using such pirated softwares. Okay, these all are punishable by law. So we should use only legalized or licensed softwares. Okay, and we should not access other people's computer files without permission. We should not open other people's computer files. We should not copy or modify the copyrighted work to create a new work, right? We are not supposed to copy or modify the work created by some other people. And we should use some authentic data and maintain, okay, honesty and impartiality in data analysis. Okay, we should not indulge in cyber crimes like fraudulent e-transactions, hacking. Okay, all these things are punishable. Publishing some obscene information, etc. So all these precautions we should take while using the software on the computer. Okay, fine. So I hope you all understood it. Now there are some technical difficulties faced. Yes or no? While using computer, we face some technical difficulties. Now, what are these technical difficulties? What did you do to overcome them? How you can overcome these technical difficulties? Come on, I want the answer from you all students, so that I will read out your answer, then we will discuss on this topic. I will give you time. Everyone has to type the answers in the chat box. Once again, I will repeat the question. Which technical difficulties did you face while using the computer? What did you do to overcome them? Okay, storage problem is one of the main thing. You all have given me the answer. Okay, fine. Okay, Soumya, internal storage problem. Increase the internal storage. Okay. So these screen goes blank. Okay, fine, Hitesh. Glitch in computer. Okay, overload. Okay, so many answers I'm getting. Good. Okay, so you all are facing some technical difficulties. Okay, fine. Now there are some solutions or remedies for it. Okay, so now listen. So some of the technical difficulties which while using computer we face is that computer got switched off due to sudden fluctuations or power outage. Okay, due to that it happens, and much of the current work will be lost. If you're not saving your data, what will happen? You will lose that data. Okay, you will keep on typing and typing, and suddenly if the electricity goes, okay, what happens? Whatever you have written or typed will also go along with it if you're not saving it. Yes or no? That is one of the that is due to loss of electricity, correct? So what is the remedy for it? Working files should be saved frequently. You should keep on saving your file. Okay, and then the power supply to the computer was given through an UPS. What is UPS? Can anybody give me the full form of UPS? Okay, unit processing system. Soumya is writing. Okay, it is not unit processing system. It is uninterrupted power supply. Okay, uninterrupted power supply. That is UPS, which will allow sufficient time to save the files in case of power outage. Okay, so uninterrupted power supply, that is UPS, that we can use it. We also face difficulty in downloading pictures from the internet due to low connectivity. Have you observed when you're downloading something, It takes time. Okay, downloading any pictures and all. Yes, what is the remedy for that? Searched and downloaded pictures of lower resolution and smaller file size. What we can do, we have to search and download the pictures which are of smaller file size. Okay, so these are some of the things which we can go through. So it is an open-ended questions. Okay, you can also add some other points here, whichever you feel like, which other difficulties you have faced regarding that also you can give. Okay, now next point is we have to search what are the differences between different computer generation and how science has contributed to their development. Okay, I have told you different generations of computer, right? We have discussed this topic the beginning of the lecture. Okay, so there are certain stages of evolution of digital computers, what we call them as computer generations. So each generation is having some or the other improvement in technology. Okay, and there is programming languages which they are used over there. Okay, so now here technology changed from vacuum tubes. In the first generation, it was vacuum tubes. In the second generation, they used transistors. Okay, and the third generation ICs, to microprocessors in the fourth generation. Okay, in this way, the technology changed from one generation to another generation. Okay, so parallel processing and networking characterize the present generation. Even the size, cost of computer has reduced drastically from huge hall-sized computers of the first generation to mini computers in the third generation to personal computers in the fourth generation. Okay, previously, the first generation, how the size of computers were, it was just like a big, huge room. Okay, it was like a big, huge hall. So big computers were used. But in the second generation and the third generation, they started using mini computers. Then came the personal computers, which we are using in the fourth generation and fifth generation. Yes. So reliability, energy efficiency, calculation speed, all this improved in each generation. Okay. Even memory devices are used. They are evolved, improved in size, improved in speed and capacity. Okay. We are from magnetic drum memory, which was used in first generation. Magnetic core memory is used in the second generation. Okay. So in this way, that there is changes even in the hardware as well as software to semiconductor memories in the third generation. So in this way, memories are also changed. Even the programs of first generation computers, how it was, machine language of zeros and ones were used. And then assembly language was used. User-friendly high-level programming languages introduced in the second generation. Okay, and operating system language is used in the third generation. So in the first two generation, how the input and output, they were based on punch cards, tapes, etc. Then keyboard and monitors were introduced in the third generation. Okay, and then graphical user interfaces, GUI, that and the mouse that were developed during the fourth generation. So now we can use the mouse and we can send our we can type anything, okay, in the using the keyboard. So all these developments occurred. Yes, and in fourth generation, LAN technology was also developed, that is local area networking, LAN. Okay, LAN technology is called as local area networking. Now, what was the contribution of science here? Because of science and technology has contributed to what? Technological development of computer hardware, such as valves, transistors, ICs, microprocessors, memory devices, all this networking technology and devices. Okay, so in this way, science and technology has contributed a lot for the development of advance of this computer science, computer hardware. Okay, so these are some of the differences between different generations of computers. I hope you all understood very well. Okay, okay, Soumya, okay, fine. Okay, students, so